Welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Housing. Is that the name of this? I don't even know what the name of the show is. Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York. Is that right? I am Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to flip or wholesale houses in New York, or if you're already doing how to grow your business. So I got a question from someone, and that question is, what do you do when a contractor leaves in the middle of a job? So unfortunately, I've had that experience, and as I've said many times before, the parts of the business that I hate are dealing with contractors and dealing with building departments. So my goal, in theory, is to get to doing zero construction work. I will never get there, but that is my goal, which is really 6 years ago when I started going direct to seller so that I could wholesale some deals. I still close on properties. I've closed on many properties, but I would, if I had my druthers, right, if I had my wishes, I would wholesale every house. But I can't. I have to close on probably 40 to 50% of them. And I got to deal with contractors on a lot of them. So there's a story what happens when a contractor leaves. The most important thing you need to know is that you have to not get behind the contractor. And this is very hard for newbie investors and newbie rehabbers, because a contractor says, give me X dollars, and they just give it to them. And they don't have specific scopes of work and draw schedules. So let me explain what that means. If you're doing a job, right, I just left a house where I'll tell you what the house needs. The house needs a new kitchen. The house needs all the carpets removed. The house needs to be completely painted. It needs a couple of rooms have paneling. They need to be pulled down and sheetrocked. And let's say it needs a bathroom, maybe one of the bathrooms. So there's an order of operations here that should be done, right? Oh, it needs flooring also. It's going to need flooring on the second floor. After you rip the carpet out, I think it's just got plywood underneath. It's going to need flooring. To probably put in wood flooring. So let's go backwards. Flooring always goes last, right? If you do flooring anytime other than last, you're really wasting your time. But if you put new flooring on and then you paint, you're really kicking yourself in the ass. So flooring goes last. Before flooring should be final sheetrocking and the final things that go in. So let's start from the beginning. So first you're going to do demo. Step one will be rip out all the carpet, rip out the paneling, right? Rip out the kitchen. And if you're doing the bathroom, rip out the bathroom. Step two is to make sure all the plumbing and electrical, everything that's behind the walls is done. So make sure the plumbing's right for the new bathroom and the new kitchen. All the plumbing works, all the systems work, all the electrical works, all the electricals run for the bathrooms and the kitchen. Make sure all that's good, right? Good. Put in the right outlets in the kitchen and the bathroom. You need GFI outlets. Step three is you're going to actually put in the sheetrock and the tile. Step four is you're going to put in the cabinetry, and all the fixtures in the bathroom. And then step five is going to be the flooring, and step four will be painting, and then step five will be the flooring. So you're going to have to come up with a draw schedule. The guy might need some money up front for sure. So let's say he needs 10 grand for materials, for example. And then you're going to say, listen, I'm going to pay you 5 draws. I usually go 4 or 5 draws. The second time, you're not getting paid until all the demo's done and we're ready to do step 2. And you got to stick with that. And contractors are notorious for screwing up on their numbers, for having people leave, for underestimating what things will cost. And sometimes there are surprises when you take walls down, but you need to stick with your guns and say, okay, if there's a little extra, I'll give you that. But I'm only going to give that to you when we get to that, whatever step it is. So that's a draw schedule and a scope of work. These are the things that are going to be done. This is the order of operations, and this is where I need money. Now, very often, if you take hard money, your hard money lender is going to pay 100% of your construction costs, but they want to get a draw schedule too. So you've got to make sure that the draw schedule you give to the lender matches the draw schedule that you have with the contractor. Now the first payment, the lender's not going to pay you. They're going to want to pay you in arrears. They're going to want you to pay first. So you're going to have to lay that out. But you want to get money back from them so that at the end you get that you get that money back too. So the important part when you're dealing with a contractor, because you are going to, if you don't know what you're doing, even if you do know what you're doing, by the way, contractors are going to flake out on you. They're going to disappear. They're going to tell you that somebody died in their family. They're going to tell you somebody died. Their workers died. Let me tell you a weird story. One of the main reasons that I started wholesaling was because I had a crew that was really good, a bunch of Mexicans, great workers, and one day they all disappeared. I don't know what the hell happened. Just didn't show up. And in the middle of a job, and I found out like 3 weeks later when one of their sisters called me in like broken Spanglish that they all got deported. All of them simultaneously. So that can happen, right? It wasn't their fault. They didn't want to get deported. But sometimes guys just flake out on a job. They realize I'm screwed up. I'm never going to make up the money. I can't get people for it. Unfortunately, it happens a lot with contractors. to give you the basic evolution of how most contractors work, most of them were subcontractors. They were laborers, or maybe they were electricians, maybe they were plumbers, maybe they were sheetrock guys. And then at some point they realized, why am I working for another contractor? I want to make all the money. But the problem is a lot of them are not good businessmen. In fact, most are horrible businessmen. So they don't know how to manage resources. So for example, you may get a contractor who does one job for you and they're great. And they say, give me more, right? They all want more. Everybody wants more. And you give them 2 jobs and suddenly they drop the ball on everything. I had this happen to me half a dozen times. A guy was great. I said, let's try to do 2 jobs. They couldn't handle 2 jobs. Materials went to the wrong place. People weren't working on the jobs. It happens all the time. So the way to be on top of it when a contractor leaves is to understand that if a contractor is not calling you back for a few days, the messages you have to leave for them are, listen, if I don't hear back from you by Friday at 5, I am getting someone else to complete the job. I want to be clear about that. I would always get an email address. I would email them so you have this in writing, okay? Because it is, unfortunately, if the contractor is licensed, he has the ability to put a mechanic's lien on your property. It's a little nuts. It's happened to me. It sucks. But you have to document as much as possible so that you, A, don't have that much downtime, and B, you're very clear that, hey, don't ask me for any more money because I'm getting someone else to finish. But the important part, and to not get beat on these things, is that if you sort of have a good draw schedule where he's not ahead of you by $30,000, then it's not so bad. So if he's ahead of you by $5,000, you can take a $5,000 loss on a deal. Most times that shouldn't kill your whole deal. You'll still make money on the deal. But if you're really stupid, and I've been stupid, I've given guys a big check up front, and I was at risk, right? If they just disappeared, and it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened 1,000 times. It's happened 1,000,000 times. The guy gets a big check, puts it all into something else, loses it, and just disappears. So do not give contractors lots of money. Be incredibly firm on your draw schedule. So I'll tell you what's going to happen. What happens is, since these guys can't manage resources, you're supposed to, this happens, right? You say, I don't want the floors done until the painting's finished. I don't want floors with paint shit on it, right? And that will happen. And then they'll have a floor guy who, let's say they're using, who is not busy, and they'll send them to your house in the middle of the job. And then so that's happened to me. And I said, it's very nice that you're doing the floors. I'm not paying you for the floors until everything else is done. And he goes, oh, what's the difference? It's done. And you have to stay firm. Say, I won't do it. And then my excuse always is, my lender's not going to give me the money for it, and they're giving me the money to pay you. I laid out the first draw. After that, I'm waiting for the money from them. So you can stop doing the floors right now, which is probably the best idea. Or you can do the floors, but it's coming out of your pocket, right? And you better do what you should do. Do not go out of order, right? That's crucial. And these guys, I promise you, I've heard it 1,000 times. Some amazing excuses. I know we were supposed to do that next week, but my guy is available this week. Can he just do that now? And you got to say, listen, I don't want to be a dick, but no, you got to do it in the order we had, because otherwise my lender's not going to give you the money, and I'm going to run out of money, and I want to pay you. So that's really the key. The key, there's no way to avoid a contractor screwing you. I don't know any person who's doing serious business who hasn't gotten screwed by a contractor. I don't know anyone, including me. I don't know anyone. So if you think you're going to get into this business big time, you're going to get screwed by contractors. The key is to not allow the contractor to be ahead of you by enough that if the guy screws you, your deal is not going to make any money anymore, or you're going to seriously eat into your profits, right? If you get beat for 5, 10 grand, usually you can survive that, right? 12 grand, but you have to be careful. Right, and contractors are going to come to you when work isn't done and say, I got to pay my guys, I need a favor, and you have to say, I would love to pay you, but I can't pay you until the scope of work is done, so that I can get the money from my lender. Say, I just don't have the money. So you have to be clear, and you have to be firm, and it's not easy, right? These guys, sometimes they'll come to you crying, right? And sometimes I feel bad for them because it's not their fault, whatever the hell it is. They're always going to come up with a reason. But if you don't stick to it, then you're going to run the danger of really getting behind. And when you're behind by $25,000, $30,000, and they leave, and I promise you, it's happened to so many people. It's uncountable. That's when you have a problem, right? That's when a deal that was supposed to make 65 grand, suddenly you're wondering if you're going to make any money on it, because the guy ripped you off at 35 grand, and then the next guy you hired wants more money than you thought it would be, and it ends up being a disaster. But if you're only close and it's 5, 10, 12 grand that you can stand losing, then usually that you can salvage a deal. So that is my advice. Stick to a scope of work. Do not bend. Do not budge. Stick to it so that you are not way behind on them. You're going to be a little behind, but not way behind. So I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, go to coaching.howtoflipnewyork.com. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching on any of the media channels, please click the thumbs up. The likes really help my SEO, my search engine optimization. More people have been seeing my videos lately, so thank you for all the thumbs up. Keep them coming. And I go live 5 times a week. I don't always know what the hell to talk about, so I really appreciate your comments. You can ask any comment. Does not have to be about the video you're watching. I try to get back to comments within a day or two. If it's a simple answer, I'll just reply with an answer. If it's something that I've covered before, I'll send you links to videos on it. If it's something new, I'll do a new video on it. So thank you very, very much for watching. And how do I end this? Oh, there it is.